Wait, please be sure to check out the FightView360 Boxing Podcast, available on all of your listening platforms. Spotify, Apple, Google, Stitcher, iHeart. All you got to do is type it in Google. Also, my website, FightView360.com, is fully up to date. You know, we actually are publishing like news, like everything. You know, it's all there, all your boxing news. So let's move on to the next topic. We have a big fight coming up this weekend, and I haven't had a chance to really talk about it in detail. Not this weekend, this month, with March the 25th on Showtime pay-per-view. The price hasn't been released yet, but it's safe to say that it's probably going to be $74.99, and that's former IBF champion Caleb Sweet Hands Plant versus David Benavidez, former WBC champion. As you can see there on the screen, if you're watching on YouTube, he has his belts up there, former belts, but hey. So I haven't really been able to give my prediction. By the way, the first episode of All Access, let me see if I can find it here. The first episode of All Access is going to be this weekend, and as you can see here on the screen, it doesn't say a time. Oh, it's going to be on Showtime Friday, excuse me. It's, as you can see right here, it's going to be on Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be available on demand on March the 11th. And usually they put a neutered, cut down version, you know, without the curse words and everything, on YouTube about the same day or so. I'm guessing there's going to be 3 episodes, one on the 10th, March the 10th, one on the episode 2 on the 17th, 18th. And then the fight's going to be on the 25th, and they're going to have an epilogue likely after the fight. Let's see if they put anything on the schedule to see if they actually show us. Nope, this is going to show, you know, other shit. So Caleb Plant has grown on me. I wasn't too much of a fan. Caleb Plant has that cocky confidence. It can be a little off-putting. I remember years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, one of my colleagues, Rob Suarez, interviewed Caleb Plant before he had fought Jose Uzcategui. And I was like, as I'm sitting there editing, and I'm like, this is a cocky-ass motherfucker. You know, there's like smug. That's the best way you can put it. So me, I'm a hardcore boxing fan. I never really considered Jose Uzcategui to be a boogeyman. I never really considered that. He only got the boogeyman tag from Anthony Terel, and Anthony Terel was never the same since he got hit in the back of the head. I never considered him a boogeyman. But I was like, okay, cool, he beat him. But when you look at his resume, let's be honest here. When you look at his resume here, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. Jose Uzcategui, once again, my opinion, never consider him a boogeyman. Subway, nasty as Mike Lee. Remember, he was spitting all in the ring and all that shit. He went from being this actor gentleman to being a ill. Vincent Fegan Boots. He was a mandatory from my understanding. Caleb Truax. And then he got the Canelo fight. And he admitted he was waiting around for the Canelo fight, and he got it. Got stopped. Came back for Anthony Terel, and I admit, I was like, okay, Caleb Plant is growing on me. This is the type of fight or the win that I'm going to be like, all right, Caleb Plant, I respect you. But David Benavidez, high volume, hard punching, huge pressure fighter, power puncher. It's a damn shame on his side that he lost out to the Canelo fight because he couldn't keep, one was weight, and the second time he couldn't keep his nose clean, sweet nose clams. Cocaine. 26-0 with 23 KOs, 26 years old. Ronald Gavril struggled with him the first fight, beat him the second one. Jalen Love, Anthony Terel stopped him, not as, you know, Caleb Plant destroyed him. Roman Gulo, Ronald Ellis, Kieran Davis, David Lemieux, he was way long in the tooth. That wasn't, David Lemieux had no business being in there. So both of these guys, in my opinion, you know, don't have like resumes that really stick out to you. and they've been ducking and dodging around each other. I know that Benavidez wanted to fight. We already talked about it. But Caleb Plant was dancing around. You can't, he got that $10 million, alleged, rumored $10 million payday against Canelo. It's like, okay, cool, all right, whatever. Life-changing money. So now they have to fight because not only is Showtime and PBC getting more aggressive in their matchmaking, but how long are they going to keep dancing around each other? There's no belt on the line, and it's going to be on pay-per-view. And a fight like this, for them to fight in this landscape, it had to be on pay-per-view because of what these fighters have been guaranteed. Do I feel it's a pay-per-view fight? To an extent. I'm still on the fence with that. But I'm cool with it being on pay-per-view. I'm going to gladly buy it, especially when you look at the undercard. I'm digging the undercard. Very aggressive from PBC. Jesus Ramos against Joey Spencer. Cody Crowley against Abel Ramos. Chris Colbert against both of them coming off 2 straight losses. Both of them coming off losses. Chris Colbert versus Jose Rayo Venezuela. Take my money. By the way, I was on the Zoom call with them a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going to be uploading that to the channel and to the podcast as well. The undercard fighters had a Zoom call. Now, as far as pay-per-view predictions for this fight, by the way, let me give you my predictions. I got David Benavidez beating Caleb Plant. Sorry. I'm sorry. No disrespect to Caleb Plant. He can box, but I don't know how he's going to be able to stay on that bike that long. And we've seen that in fights, even against Uzcategui, and I believe he did it against Caleb Plant. Against Caleb Truax too. He can slow down later on in fights, and I think that David Benavidez will eventually catch up to him. I got Jose Ramos over Joey Spencer. Cody Crowley may lose to Abel Ramos. And Chris Colbert versus Rayo Venezuela, I don't know, because the way Rayo lost, both of them lost in pretty much getting dominated. Chris Colbert to Hector Garcia and Rayo to, who did Rayo lose again to? Let me check real quick. I forgot. My bad, I forgot. Edwin Santos. And his shit was ugly. It was ugly. But those are my predictions. Pay-per-view buy prediction? We don't know what Showtime's number is, the number that they feel like, oh, this shit really sold well. But I'm seeing around 200,000 or so for this fight. No, because that's Tank Davis. That's Tank Davis and Errol Spence range of numbers between 200 to 400 or so to 300. So 150 for this fight. I think it's going to do 150,000 pay-per-view buys. It's a good fight, but both of these guys don't have real crossover market appeal. Caleb Plant, his name has been out there more. He's got those big ratings from when he was headlining on Fox. He's got that Canelo pay-per-view, but I don't see this fight doing over 200,000 pay-per-view buys. So that's going to be on March 25th. We're going to be here covering that fight. I'm going to be covering All Access this weekend on Showtime.